My first question was this. Somebody says, what do I do when I'm angry at God? And what do you do when you're angry at God? Of course, my first reaction wants to be to say, don't be. But I know at times people do get into that place that, if you will, like an emotional state where they're angry at God. So let me give you a few perspectives here. Firstly, I think it's a really good thing. I'm never going to get angry at God because I have this baseline reality in my heart that I know whatever happens is not God's fault. Whatever happens is not God's doing. Now, God is, I think often that the premise, the issue isn't the anger, the issue is the reason you have the anger. And often the reason somebody has the anger is that very baseline thought they have that says, God did this or God allowed this to happen. And a lot of that comes from a faulty or unbiblical understanding of the sovereignty of God, of this idea of God being in total control of everything that happens in my life. So today I'm here in London, I'm here in Westminster. Imagine if a bus hit a little child right now. Horrible thought, I know. But as I was speaking here, what conclusion should I draw from that? Should I go, God did this? God had a plan. God had a strategy behind this. Or should I say, oh man, a kid ran out in front of a bus, or maybe a parent didn't protect the kid, or maybe a bus driver wasn't paying attention and was tired, or I don't think God did that. Now, God is over everything in that sense. He could click his fingers and this whole universe would cease to be, but it's not God willing that to happen. God willed there to be a world, and there is free will within that world. So I want to say to you, if you're angry at God, firstly, I don't believe you've actually got the right to be. Secondly, I would actually say deal with this. And I don't want to say forgive God, because God really doesn't need forgiving. But what actually is not helpful is if you bury that anger, in the inside of your heart, and you just deny it and you pretend it's not there. I think it's actually okay to bring your anger out, bring it into the presence of God and say, God, I'm mad at you. Because you know what? He knows anyway. He's not going to be all hurt and offended and, how could you say that about me? He knows if you're like that anyway. So why not actually admit it before him and say, Lord, I've got some things in my heart and they don't make sense to me and I'm stinking mad at you, and just let it all out before him. Because I think he will come and give you a hug. He will prefer you to be honest in that scenario than try to defend that, try to fight that, try to hold it in some way. So what I would then do is embrace mystery. Sometimes as we bring things to God, he's going to say, this is why that happened, this is how that happened, this is the root cause of that. Sometimes he's just going to say, trust me. Yeah. A thing that really helps me is the verse in Genesis 18 when Abraham says in effect to the Lord, will not the king of the whole earth do that which is right? And at times I don't know the why of something, but I can know, here's the real answer to you, I can know the who of something. I can know that the king of the whole earth will do that which is right. And I believe when we know God, we'll find the healing because we found the healer to our disappointment. Good.